I applied to medical school at the last minute. Don't be like me. What's up, YouTube? I'm back at you with another video. Today, this video is going to be about the timeline for medical school applications. So I am doing a video on the timeline for DO schools. DO schools start to review applications on June 15th. The application cycle opens in May. Some DO schools have rolling admissions, which means that, for example, if you apply in the year 2020, but the seats are full for that year, then you can possibly get in for 2021 and have an early spot. So the application cycle ends in March for most DO schools. So for DO schools, you're looking at an application timeline from May to March. So from May of 2020 to March of 2021. So MD and DO schools, they're about like a 3-month difference. So that would be what you're looking at as far as the timeline goes. I think it's also very important to make sure that you plan out your MCAT date. So the MCAT is open to take from January through September every year. So you really want to make sure that you plan out when you're going to take the MCAT. So I would advise people who are looking to apply to DO schools or MD schools to open their application whenever the application cycle starts. It's good to hop on that application right whenever the application cycle opens because you can add in your demographics, your basic information, your race, ethnicity, date of birth. Okay, so I'm going to walk through this website with you guys so you can see exactly what the application site looks like. So this is the AACOMAS website. I don't know how the website for MDs look, but this is what the AACOMAS website looks like, and you have your sign-in with your username and your password. Of course, if you're looking to apply to DO schools, then you will create your account, but since I've already got my information in here, I'm going to click sign in. And so what we have here are 4 different tabs that go along with the status of your application. So right here, you have your personal information, and that is the basic information that I told you about that you're going to add in. It includes your contact information, your family information, your race, your ethnicity, and just some other information that they might need. I don't really know what this is included in. Yeah, your military status, language proficiency, felon charges, things of that sort. And so this is just kind of basic information. It doesn't really determine like if you're going to get into medical school or not. It's just information that they need, including a release statement, I guess. So if they release some information that you have, you've given them, I guess, the right to do that. And here you have your academic history and your supporting information. Your academic history is where you're going to include your transcript information, including your high schools attended, your AP courses, your college courses. Make sure that if you took an AP class, that whenever you attended college, you have your AP course present on your transcript. Otherwise, DO schools will not accept AP scores that were not on the transcript. Unfortunately for me, I took 2 AP courses and I actually passed 2 of them, and I could have received college credit, but I was a part of a learning community as a freshman, and the learning community prevented me from using those courses as credit towards my degree. Even though I took those classes, I wish that I could have still put them on my transcript, even though they weren't going to be going necessarily towards my degree. But I tried to get proof, and I actually got proof that I took the courses, and I passed those courses with exceptional AP scores that would pass for college courses, but the schools that I applied to or that I attempted to apply to would not accept them. So just a heads up, make sure that those AP scores are on your transcript. Moving on, we have transcript entry. So there are 2 ways that you can input your transcript. So you can manually enter all of your grades from all of your prerequisite courses in your undergraduate degree, or you can pay $69 for, I guess, them to do it for you. But if you're anything like me, I don't have $69 to just be thrown away, so I did it myself. One tip that I would tell you guys is that if you are going to input the transcript yourself, I would recommend that you type the transcript out exactly how it looks on your transcript. Don't abbreviate, don't add extra letters, don't add extra numbers. Type in exactly how the transcript looks on your transcript, if that makes sense. Like, type in the grade, type in the credit hour, type in the name of the course, exactly how it looks, because you don't want to cause further discrepancies whenever you are trying to submit your application. You also have continuing ed courses in your standardized test where you're going to put your MCAT score in. So now I'm going to go back. And you have supporting information. And this is where you're going to put in your letters of recommendation, your experiences, your achievements, your personal statement, your extracurricular activities, your work experiences, your volunteer experiences. And it kind of looks like this. So, yes, I'm giving out all my information right now, guys. But it kind of separates it into healthcare experiences, non-healthcare experiences, volunteer work, extracurricular activities, and you're going to name exactly what the name of your organization was whenever you are participating in it, as well as the date, as well as the title. And you will also have to type in the address. You will have to type in your supervisor's name, your experience, and you have to type in a small description or key responsibilities. Like I said in my last video, I think it was actually the first video that I posted on YouTube, it's important to really talk about your experiences in paragraph form, make it a narrative. You really don't want it to be bullet points. You want to make it as quality as possible. And so as you see here, mine was in bullet points. The character limit is 600 characters or 79 words. So I'll just keep that in mind. You don't want to talk too much, but you really want to just focus on the important things that stood out to you that you think that it will stand out to someone else. So that is for the extracurricular activities, the volunteer experiences. Then you have your achievements, awards, etc. And you have your personal statement. And this is added on here. Like I said, I applied in May of no, I did not. What am I talking about? I applied in February. So COVID was not really a thing. Well, it was a thing. It definitely was a thing. But it was not involved in this application process. So that's something new for you guys if you're applying for May of 2020. But moving on, these are your program materials, and you won't see this come up until you actually add programs. So unless you add schools that you plan to apply to, then you will see this come up. And in this box, you will have to add in your courses that they require. So, of course, certain colleges require maybe psychology or maybe 6 credit hours of social sciences. And they'll break that up into this program materials box. And you'll basically have to drag and drop the classes that you took so you can make sure that those courses correlate with the classes that are required for those colleges. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And once you add your programs and you pay for your programs, you submit your application, and then checking your status is just that just involves transcript updates. And that's pretty much it. This is what it looks like, and this is what you should see whenever you do start your application. Also, I would look into sending my official transcript to the AACOMAS Transcript Processing Center first. If you do it at the last minute, it can potentially prolong your application process, and it can prevent schools from seeing your application, because to them, if they don't receive your transcript, then they're not going to be able to look at any of your information, and you don't want to move further behind in the process. Even if you have not completed certain classes, they can see what classes that you're taking, and I think that'd be a good idea to do, so you don't have anything that is putting a hold on people seeing your application. Please, 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 please don't be like me. I spoke with my advisor back in May of 2019 when I was graduating, and I told her that I wanted to matriculate into the year 2020, and I told her that I had not taken the MCAT yet, and the MCAT was only offered in January, and it was May at that time. So I had about 6 months to study. But that would have meant that I would have had to apply by, how am I going to explain this? I spoke with my advisor back in May of 2019 whenever I was graduating, and I told her that I wanted to matriculate into the year 2020 for medical school, and I didn't care if I had to apply late. I didn't care what I had to do, but I was not going to wait another year. So I ended up taking the MCAT in January of 2020. I ended up applying and completing my application in February of 2020 to apply to only DO schools. We both agreed that I had a pretty good enough application to give it a shot and see if I could get in. And I don't regret my decision. But I would just suggest that that shouldn't be like your first choice. If you're okay with the possibility of not getting in or maybe getting waitlisted, then shoot for it. But if you feel like you don't have everything together and you need a little bit more time, please be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. This profession lasts for a lifetime. You're going to be constantly learning after years and years of experience. Lives are going to be in your hands. So you really want to take this seriously and don't necessarily rush yourself to try to reach a goal. And the journey to reaching this profession is a process. So be kind to yourself, never give up, and be persistent.